Hello, and welcome to the Bruce Cesal Research Channel. Views are really slow. Something's holding back people from reaching this channel, so if you get here and you enjoy the videos, well, give me a thumbs up. Maybe come back in a week or two to see if I made another video, which I will. A UFO, Gene Ward found this and profiled it. It showed up on the blackvault.com. And of course, people never give proper shout outs to proper people, so I'm more than happy to mention Gene Ward having found this in a NASA image, right? So, what are we looking at? It does look like a possible UFO crash landing site. Two possible bridges or objects and structures towards the left close to it that I'll show later on. The other ones, I assume they could be sand dunes, even though they don't look like sand dunes. They're very high, elevated, straight ramps. But now, do you notice something odd about the strip here? If this is a crash landing, it sure glided evenly all the way along those many, many miles. There's something wrong about that. It turns over on the right. It turns right at the left. On the left, it finishes off going upwards on the right. And over here on the right, it's downwards. It's like a UFO would have arrived sideways and then just sort of stopped there. Could it be a tunnel that UFOs were going through and they broke up the tunnel to get to the UFOs? I mean, imagine all the scenarios and possibilities of what they could be. So another thing is I'm going to get a circle up, and if it's a disc, I'm going to show you what it looks like. And you could actually see the whole disc on the left side right here. The line is also going by, but I'm not going to show you yet. I'll get it up in a second. I didn't put any indication. Here, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing like on the moon. I'm bringing the exposure down quite simply, and I'm not even sharpening. I'm not touching the image except for just bringing down the exposure. This is a Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter image from December 29th, 2006. So we see a line on the moon like this. I'm going to show you the one I saw. And again, this one was far away too. It's been zoomed up there several times. It was a lot further than that in the image. But I'm going to do something cool. Watch this. What's that? Odd, eh? Natural formations. Could be okay. No problem. Find it a little weird. Did they drag that UFO there, or did it actually crash land? It would have landed really, really slowly. No? Wouldn't it have landed extremely slowly and evenly gliding across the surface? And even turning, making a nest shape a bit as it goes across the surface? I got a problem with that. Is it a tunnel this object's in, or is it a real crash landing? It's an amazing capture. Obviously, probably it is, but you can see the whole circle there, actually. So here's something cool. With the circle, quite obviously, I'm going to put it over it. I'm going to get the circle to the right size so that everything lines up. And we're going to do something cool. Watch when I move the circle, what's there. Now you see it, the rest of the circle. So now we have the size of the craft. Look what I'm doing over here. Let's just see by eye. We have the size of the craft. Yeah, it looks like it fits completely in that path for sure. It would have been a hell of a slow, bloody landing where they were really gliding really, really low and coming in at a slow speed. To have glided like that and not really dug in at all. It's like they glided on the surface. It's odd, actually. And we do see it turn a little bit too, but either way, it's an amazing capture. If I was to go and look on the moon where there are objects with lines like that, there are some. Maybe one I can show real quickly. It took me actually an hour to find a bloody video, but I have, it's just one image because it's last minute. But let's go take a look on the moon at an image of the surface just with my regular telescope. And it does not look as beautiful and symmetrical as this object. But look, just for the fun of it, if you look at the surface like this, top left in the corner, I'm looking for, this is in 2016, I'm looking for lines that are behind supposed craters and straight lines where it could look like there could be a crash. Just to give you an idea, just real quickly, without even trying hard to look, you can see some objects like that. I also talked about those areas in the past about large rocks in a desert that move around when there are floods. I brought a lot of theories and scenarios. Guys, these are structures on the surface, whether it be structures where people are living or oil or something going through them. Look at the connections. Look how everything's in line, and there's bumps all along the lines going downwards into the craters, and it's not all over like that. This is the part in the Southern Highlands where I always say the moon has the chicken pox. You could see many bumps on the surface, lots of them in line in unison going, what seems to be going inwards or under some craters. These are structures. Doesn't mean it's houses, but they're still built objects. If not, it's a natural formation? No way. Can't be. Even see some greenery. One of my favorite areas is this one. Copernicus craters on the top left. A square there, or a 90-degree angle bent with a high elevated object off the surface. Spots on the right and shapes and forms. Dark square. Smokes, bright lights from the surface, and a straight pipe or line or tunnel or object that's going straight towards Copernicus crater right there, which is easily 50 kilometers away, maybe 100 kilometers away, depending on the size. It's about that, between 50 and 100. And we can see structuring right there. And the way I'm showing it is with the green filter. I can put it back gray if you want. Not going to change anything. You see it a lot better this way. That object, which looks like literally something massive on a foot or stand lifting up off the surface, high off the surface, there it is. They're objects, and like me, that's not a crater, right? It's not like an asteroid that caused this to occur. It's several layers of constructed objects beside Copernicus crater. I even told you where it is. It's not hard to see it. When you go to the crater, if you zoom in, you see it very well. This is probably the one that I've shown most with different dates that I've captured this object or captured the chance to film it, which is depending on how the atmosphere is or whether it's clear or not. And of course, always beside the Terminator line. But there's no two ways about it. It's a straight up shot where you can see that there's construction on the surface and they don't talk about it. If NASA's not talking about it, what about China's supposed hut or house that he was supposed to talk to us about? Apollo 17 landed 30 kilometers or 50 kilometers from there. There's a massive rectangle, symmetrical rectangle on the surface with two light sources billowing on the inside in a towering object. That's Mare Serenitatis where we are. The line in the center, Bessel crater. Mons Argaeus to the right of that rectangle that you see. And just on top in this mare is where Beresheet crashed, top left. Not long after that, they started saying that there were browns on the surface. Different viewpoints of a moving object gives us an effect of foreshortening. Look at the different times that I filmed the moon, depending on where the Terminator line and, of course, where the moon was. Look at that tunnel over to the right, which I've shown before many different times. Of course, we're far away. And here you see it a lot more flat. Well, that's the foreshortening. Libration, because you're filming from two moving objects. And that's the difference of what they looked like. I wanted to share that with you all. But a few kilometers from Aristarchus crater, this is right on the ridge of Aristarchus crater, look very closely at what's happening on the surface. Sun? No, that's not the sun. What about an object catching on fire as it's descending under the hazes in the atmosphere and leaving a smoke? And it even rises up. We can even see it as a proof. Not only showing a UFO, but showing the smoke on the surface. I'm not trying to be better than anyone else. I'm trying to show the truth. Thanks, everyone. Would rock the world. It would change the stock markets. Everything would crash, guys, if the world knew this. Yeah. Aliens up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are mining on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon.
welcome